On today's History of Politics, we're going to talk really quickly about the Ninth Amendment because it's a very short amendment and it's also part of the Bill of Rights. And basically, what it says is that the enumeration or the way that it's listed or its numerical order does not mean that it supersedes any other of the rights in the document. In other words, the First Amendment is not greater than the Ninth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment is not greater than the Eighth Amendment. Okay? They all have the same weight. And that weight is, if you think about the word constitution, okay, we have a constitution. Some of the old language used to be that after dinner, people would go out for a constitutional. They would go out for a walk. And the idea of going out for that walk is to get the stomach juices going and the blood flowing so that the food would become digested and would disperse through the body evenly. Your gut, your what some people call center mass, your major organs is your personal constitution. It's what forms you. It's what keeps you alive. By the same token, the United States Constitution, the document, which, by the way, is a liquid document, and I'll explain that in a minute. The Constitution is what keeps this country alive. It's a set of rules. It's a set of laws. It's what we follow and what we go by. And anyone who violates it is wrong. It's that simple. This is the United States. This is where we are. If we say that we're American patriots, then we adhere to the Constitution. Having said that, it's a liquid document. What do I mean by liquid document? It means that it has the ability to be changed according to the times. Okay, for example, some people speak about in the Second Amendment, we'll say, when we talk about militias, okay, at the time the framers wrote the Constitution, there was no National Guard. There were no 4 or 5 different branches of the formal military. We just had the Continental Army. So now we do have a National Guard and we have the 5 branches of the military. And at the end of the day, there's no need for militias. That's why Congress outlawed militias almost 200 years ago. So what I mean by that is that the Constitution is fluid to make the change if we need it based on the generation. Okay? Because there's certain things that just don't happen now that happened at the time of the framers. Also, the framers did not envision a rogue executive at some point. What the framers believed was that only honorable men would aspire for the White House. As well, the framers wanted the hardworking people, not the elite class, to hold position in government. All of this to say one thing. Your right to keep and bear a firearm is no less important than your right to due process, than your right to be safe from illegal search and seizure, to your right to a jury trial. They all have equal weight. And then here's the other thing that we could take away from the Ninth Amendment. They apply to every single person with their foot on this soil. Meaning, if a Canadian person comes into the U.S., and I'm going to put this caveat, legally, if a Canadian person sets foot in the U.S. legally, he is entitled to the same rights. And frankly, the Constitution does not make any differential between legal or illegal. It says if you're here, you're entitled to these rights, all of them. Now, if you want to get an amendment, There's a way to do that. In order to get the amendment, 2/3 of the House and 2/3 of the Senate have to vote for it, as well as 38 of our 50 states have to ratify it. And then the constitutional amendment can be made. Anyone who violates the Constitution right now is flat out wrong. If you try to deviate or change from it, you are wrong. And that's the Ninth Amendment. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.